Hello, and welcome back to another inspiring episode of the Achieving Unity Success Formula weekly podcast, where we help turn chaos into connection and purpose into action. I am your host, Mark Intrican, founder of the Achieving Unity Success Formula, also known as the Unity Success Formula, www.unitysuccessformula.com, which is dedicated to improving lives by encouraging, inspiring, and including others. Today, I am honored to introduce a truly remarkable guest, Bear Pascoe. He's a world champion athlete, a coach, and Super Bowl champion. From his humble beginnings on a cattle ranch in Porterville, California, to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy with the New York Giants, Bear's story is one of faith, family, and unshakable perseverance. He embodies the spirit of country strong, proving that with hard work, integrity, and teamwork, that unity, anything is possible, whether it's on the football field, in the rodeo arena, or coaching athletes to reach their full potential. Bear shows us what it means to live with purpose, live with passion, and live with grit. A man who not only trains champions, but teaches all of us how to live like one. However, before we delve into this insightful discussion, let me briefly introduce my company, Reality Focus Dynamics, where it all began. As you see on the screen, there's two QR codes. On the left is the Achieving Unity Guide. It will talk to you about that frustration, that prejudgment, was ideas of anger, hate, and prejudice. I know those are hard words, but it talks about what they are and how we can get around them, and how that there is no value to anger. On the right is my blog. I write a couple of articles every month, about 4 of them. I put them out there, sometimes more, depending on the needs and the things that are going on in this world. Ideas about how achieving unity can truly help bring us all together in what we do. So please click on that QR code or go to the site, markintrican.com. Let me know how I can help you, but get a copy of the guide and give me some feedback. I appreciate it. This is Achieving Unity Success Formula weekly podcast number 58. We just passed our year about 6 weeks ago. We are on every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Please put it on your calendar. Come out here and join us. We want to hear from you during the podcast. If you have questions, put them in the chat box. Renee, the virtual assistant, she's awesome. She will let me know you're there and that you have a question. We'll bring that up. And if Mr. Pascoe has time, which he will, we will ask him questions directly and let him talk with you about these situations so we can all grow together in unity. This is, sorry, look what slide we were on. Look at the first slide again. My apologies. This is my Reality Focus Dynamics Success Focus Solution slide. What we have here is my logo. And as we see on our logo, it truly reflects the core of what we do and how we stand firm. Notice how focused is right at the heart of everything we do. That's because everything we explore, from reality, focused dynamics, the reality that we focus upon to grow forward, build forward, to success focused solutions. Those are the solutions that we have successfully focused on to take forward. They all revolve around that clear, intentional direction. In fact, the concept of being focused is so core to us that it is even reflected in our business phone number. 303-362-8733 spells 303 focused on your phone pad. So check it out. 303-362-8733. Call me. Let's talk. That's 303 focus so we can get focused on solving the problems that are ahead of us. We believe that by being truly focused on what matters, we can create meaningful change, long-term improvements, and achieve lasting unity. Also, you see on the sides there are QR codes. You can also go to the QR codes to reach out to us quickly. So let us know. Thank you, Renee. The QR code on the left is our home. QR code on the right is the contact. If you have any questions, feedback, or thoughts, go to that QR code on the right, contact me. Let's talk further. Thank you. Reality-focused dynamics does mean success-focused solutions. We have proven compassionate strategies that turn conflict into lasting harmony. This harmony goes on at home, at work, and in every relationship that matters. Are you ever frustrated by tension? Frustrated by arguments? Our 7-step roadmap gives you the tools to move from conflict to collaboration quickly and confidently. Craving stronger trust? Craving stronger connection? Discover communication tactics that will build respect, repair relationships, and unify teams and families alike. We work on learning how we all believe and how we believe together in unity. We transform conflict into connection together by achieving unity. You can see another one of our URLs down at the bottom right, realityfocuseddynamics.com. There's many ways to contact us. Let's get together soon. Unity inspires us. It inspires our homes. It shapes our society, and it truly transforms workplaces. We help you turn that frustration into understanding. Have you ever heard anybody say, "What the frustration?" Okay, they may not use that word frustration, but we show you how to find value in your actions instead of reacting in anger or frustration. We show that anger holds no value. Anger, A-N-G-E-R, actions not gaining effective results. That's anger. Nothing more than actions not gaining effective results. Have you truly been proud of anyone that has shown you anger? I don't think so. Life does happen. It happens in every relationship, from personal to professional, from parenting time to partnerships, in the boardrooms, in the bedroom, in every room in between. We show you how to embrace those challenges and encourage a more inspired and inclusive future. That's EII. I have several articles on that in my blog. Please go out there and check them out. We have one vision, one goal, achieving unity in every area of life. Call to action. What do we want to do? We see it all the time. Let's ditch the drama. Let's get stuff done. We'll show you how to turn your life from what may seem like a dumpster fire at times into a well-oiled machine. Achieving unity, the path to stronger relationships, inspired leadership, and lasting change can help you grow forward. Coaching, consulting, courses, and keynote speeches. Let us help you. Let us talk together. Talk today. Again, realityfocuseddynamics.com, markentrican.com, or just call us, 303-FOCUSED, 303-362-8733. And yes, there's a QR code at the bottom. Please contact us quickly. And we do have upcoming podcasts. We have a tremendous guest today. And then next week, we have Dr. Sherry Rosenthal. She'll talk to us about retreat strategist. You ever been to a retreat? Have you ever held a retreat? Working both ways, how a retreat can help. When we go to retreats, we learn more. We're around others. We build with them. That unity, that togetherness, help us work. That's on October 29th, next week. The following week, Edward Marino, looking in the mirror, organizationally and personally. Where do we need to look? We want to look at ourselves first. Then, Ronald Stein, energy literacy. We hear all this about saving energy Hear all the things about renewable energy. Well, what's behind all that? And is it truly working? Let's talk about that a little bit. Come talk to us on November 12th. They'll be here to share more about energy and the energy literacy. November 19th, Deb Fennell, building lists through relationships. Who are your friends? Who are your coworkers? Who are the people that you need to contact and work with the most? Debbie will come and talk to us about that on November 19th. Come join us. Let's build our list. Let's build our friendships. Let's find out who's important. Then, November 26th, coming up around Thanksgiving, Lori Sheridan, heal, rebuild, resolve. Again, heal, rebuild, resolve, create the life you deserve after toxic relationships. A lot of us have been through them. Toxic relationships can be challenging, but Lori will be here to help us understand how to heal, rebuild, and resolve. Hope to see you there too. Today, I am honored because we have Bear Pascoe, who is a world champion athlete, coach, speaker, whose journey from a small town cattle ranch in Porterville, California, to the Super Bowl stage has a story of faith, grit, and determination. Something that he says that I cherish, and we'll go into that more in a minute, but there is nothing more caring or masculine than parenting your child or your children. As a member of the New York Giants, Bear helped defeat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 46, achieving his dream of becoming an NFL champion. After football, he returned to his Western roots as a champion steer wrestler and a team roper, carrying the same dedication and heart that defined his athletic career. Today, Bear inspires others, from athletes to business leaders, to embrace resilience, work hard, and reach Super Bowl level success in all parts of his life. The bottom right under his picture, you'll see his website. That's the URL, www.bearpascoe.com. Please help me welcome Bear Pascoe.
Hey, Mark, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Bear. Thank you so much for being here. It's great seeing you.
You too, sir. Yeah, I feel like I've been missing you guys on the Speak Live websites on Wednesday. Been busy. Got a lot going right now and a lot of irons in the fire, but man, it's been great.
I appreciate all that you do and
Yeah.
the things that you do, Bear, reaching out to others.
hmm
It's excellent. And as I mentioned, it's great having you on the show.
hmm
I'm excited today that we're talking with someone, as we mentioned earlier, who has lived the dream for many people. And you worked from theoretically the dirt, from being a rancher. So
hmm
before we begin our journey and talking today, maybe give us a minute and introduce yourself. Help us understand what motivates you beyond all those great trophies that you have earned and won, and the titles that you have. Can you
hmm
tell us a little bit about Bear?
Sure thing. So like you said in the intro, born and raised in Porterville, California. My dad was a foreman on a family ranch that was not our family. He was working for a family, and we were there from the time I was in kindergarten through my freshman year of high school. And
Wow.
yeah, and in that time, I developed this love for football, and it mainly came from my father. I tell this story in my speeches that I give about, being a typical little kid and rummaging through your dad's old stuff. And I found these old letters from the LA Rams, the Oakland Raiders, the Dallas Cowboys. And they were all recruitment letters of him when he was getting ready to leave
Wow.
Colorado State. Yeah. And that was when I found out that my dad had the opportunity to play in the NFL and chose to come home. And, he during that time he was playing college ball. He was dating my mom at the time, and so he came home and started a family and became a cowboy, and I mean, he had always been a cowboy, but yeah, started ranching and stuff. And so when I found that out, that was one of the things that really drove me to go and, succeed and really do everything I could in the athletic world. And it was the driving force, behind me going and playing in the NFL because I wanted to honor him, and not in a way that,
Wow.
you know, not in the way like some people might look at it and be like, oh, you wanted to show your dad up or something. And it's nothing
No,
like
no,
that.
no.
Like, no, he was such a big factor in my career from the time I was in high school, grade school, high school, college. Like, man, my family was amazing support system for me. So,
That's
uh,
exciting.
yeah, but yeah, that's kind of, you know, grew up on a cattle ranch, learning life lessons of how to work hard and the value of a dollar and doing a job right the first time. And those were the kind of things that allowed me to move into the athletic world and be successful and have that, that work ethic that, helped me succeed.
Congratulations. That is
Yeah.
excellent. And watching and seeing what you're doing, it rings out so strong. And as I mentioned
Mhm.
before, you talk about there's nothing more masculine than being a parent to your
Hmm.
child. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm a former president of the Fathers for Equal Rights in Denver, Colorado,
Very
former
cool.
coordinator for the Children's Rights Council of Colorado. Went through a divorce that was very challenging. I work with a lot of people even today that have been through some of that and
Yeah.
understanding that being a parent is very important, right?
Hmm. Oh, extremely, extremely. And, I kind of became a parent later in life, I guess you'd say. I mean, I'm almost 40, 39 years old, and my son, he's a little over a year now.
Wow.
And seeing him grow and, learn new things and seeing him realize, how he's developing and that, learning how to play with different toys and walk and all that. And it's just, man, it's just listening to him laugh. It brightens your day. And like, it makes you want to be a better man and be the type of dad that I had who was there with me every step of the way and taught me and, mentored me and supported me throughout my whole life. And I know he's going to stumble at times and he's going to make me mad, but it's like he's my mini me, and I can't wait for what life holds for him and to be a part of it.
I'm so excited for you. That is so true
Yeah.
because so many things that we don't learn, including myself, my culture growing up was not, my dad was a great dad. He was always there
Hmm.
for me. He
Yeah.
taught me things. And of course, at the time when I grew up, working on a car was a big thing. Something
Right.
as simple as changing oil, changing spark plugs. And of course, he went on to transmissions and other things. And I have two brothers also that do a lot of work from carburetors, everything. But he was there to teach me what was important at the time, as
Hmm.
well as just the things about logic. And to
Right.
have both parents. But for many people, the father doesn't know what to do. The father doesn't sometimes understand their position and their value. And for
Hmm.
you to be able to say things like that, again, you rode in the rodeo, you got awards, NFL, you stand up so much for dads and for fathers. And I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, I've been very blessed. The good Lord, He gave me the strength and the power and the will to go and chase my dreams. And you know, at the end of the day, Zane, my son, he's going to be my greatest achievement. Like,
Yeah.
not a Super Bowl ring, not a buckle or anything like that. He will be. He will be the legacy, and I want to do everything I can to help him be, you know, the best man he can be.
What
Yeah.
best man he can be, what he wants to be. Absolutely.
Hmm.
And he may play baseball, he may
Yep.
be an engineer. Who
Yeah.
knows? But
Right.
being, you say Zane is his name?
Zane Wheeler. Yeah. Zane
Zane,
Wheeler.
yeah, just being Zane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
No,
best part of it. So,
yeah. And I'm taking him with me everywhere I go as much as possible, and like you've seen him on the Speaker Speak Live chats,
yes.
and he goes to football practice with me because I help coach the local high school. And like today I'm here
Oh,
at Cal
great.
Poly. Yeah, I'm at Cal Poly rodeo team working with the rodeo team, and like he'll come with me on days like today, and we're out there working the shoots and talking to the athletes, and he's sitting in my arms, and he's talking with them too, so it's, man, just it's taking him and exposing him to everything I can, and allowing him to be the best little guy.
Mhm. He's learning all that time, everywhere you take him, right?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
learning, picking things up. All of it's
Hmm.
not great, but most of it is.
Oh
He's
yeah.
learning
Yeah.
how to work with others and to be himself, learning who he is. That's
Hmm.
tremendous.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Well,
It's been fun to
tell,
see.
yeah, I bet it is. It's a lot
Yeah.
of pride that comes with that. So,
Yeah.
well, growing up for yourself on that cattle ranch in Porterville, and it's only a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours away from LA, but that's
Hmm.
still pretty far from an NFL stadium. Do
Yeah.
you think those early ranch days that you had, were there some things that maybe helped shape your mindset about your work, your discipline, and your
Hmm.
success?
Oh yeah, very much so. Very much so. There was at a young age, there was a lot of mornings, and where we were getting up before the sun was up, saddling horses, and a horseback gathering and getting ready to brand calves, and putting them up well after the sun went down. And there's a pride that you take when you've put in a long hard day and of hard work, and you can see the success that you've had throughout the day, and that you've produced something valuable, and something that is going to go on and support maybe somebody else's family, in some sort of way. And there's a lot of pride that goes on in that. And there was a lot of days like that growing up on a ranch, and the value of hard work. I think that's the biggest thing I talk about when I talk to these young athletes is you have to have a work ethic. It's not going to come easy, especially in the athlete world, and the way it is today. Everybody has a highlight reel. You've got to be able to put in the extra time that the people that are might be a little bit more talented than you've got to put in that extra work on the field. And one thing I tell them is hard work will beat talent when talent does not want to work hard. So
Oh,
there's a lot of times where I wasn't the most talented guy on the field, but I was willing to stay the extra reps and show up a little bit early and watch the extra film, and time in the playbook. So, and whatever the modality, or whatever genre you're in, whether it's acting, reading, drawing, being an artist, you got to be willing to put in the time. You got to put
you've
it.
got to be able to put
Yeah.
in that work that I see you've done over and over. Sorry to interrupt you, but I
No.
appreciate what you've done and helping the young athletes, the young business people, the
Hmm.
younger business people that are in the business. It's everything we do. I don't think it's just athletics.
Hmm. No.
Everything we do, we have to give that little bit of extra, right?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
Sometimes we say, like you're saying, sometimes there might be somebody that might be a little bit better in some way, but can put that effort out. It's the same way in business, socially. There's somebody that might be just a little bit smarter. They may know something that you don't know, but
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that you can't go out there and
Right.
learn a little bit more. And as you did, put out that extra effort.
Yeah. Very much. And I mean, there's going to be times you fail, you know, but you got to be okay with that. Yeah, because
Mhm.
that's where we learn. Like you're just, you know, if it's only a failure if you don't learn something from the process,
There you- Can you
and
say it
that's
again?
all. That's something I
That's
talk about. It's only a failure if you don't learn something from the process. If I'm out on the football field and I'm trying to reach, a future Hall of Fame defensive end. And, he's going to win reps. He's going to win reps. I'm going to win reps, but I'm going to learn all the reps that I lose. I'm learning something new. I'm learning something new that's going to help me succeed. And eventually I'm going to succeed. All right. But
It's
if I wasn't learning, if I wasn't, being focused in the moment and learning how he's placing his hands or what foot is back in his stance, so I know which direction he's going to step. If I wasn't learning those little aspects or those little details, then yeah, it was a failure. But you know
it's
what? Hey, go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
no, no, no. I was just
Yeah,
that's I love what you're talking about. But please
yeah,
continue because what I was
yeah.
hearing you say right there was even like being a tight end. You're playing
Mm-hmm.
with different players each game and there's substitutions. You've also
Mm-hmm.
got to learn that player you're playing against,
Yes.
learn their traits, right?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Very much so. You got to watch film on them. You gotta take those little notes and look at the little aspects of their game
Mhm.
and be able to be willing to take that from the film room, to the field. And like I said just a second ago, like they're athletes too. They're gonna win, but you got to keep getting up, and coming back for the next rep, from the next rep. And you're learning every time. So those amount of losses that you take, they're going to get shorter and shorter and less. So until you're winning every rep. So
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful though, learning that because as you're mentioning, you're gonna win, you're gonna lose, you just gotta win more in the end. And
Hmm.
by learning from your mistakes, and we all make them. Nobody's made more than I have, is what I always tell people.
Yeah.
We just have to keep learning from the mistakes that we lost,
Yes.
that when we have made those mistakes. And as you
Very much.
mentioned, we have to learn from them.
Hmm.
And can you recall in your life as you're like growing up on the ranch and your experiences from those days, were there some that continue to shape your approach to the challenge and the perseverance that you express or use today?
There's a kind of a little story that I tell. I was helping we were digging ditches, irrigation ditches and stuff. And I was working with an old man and uh, he'd dig a little bit, he'd stop and roll a cigarette and smoke it, and then dig a little bit and stop and roll another cigarette and smoke it. And I'm just like, I don't want to say I was like 10 or 12 at the time. And man, I'm just like, just going in a blowing and sorry to cuss, but I was just asshole and elbows. I was just trying to get it
Yep.
done. It was hot and trying to go. But his job was so like the job he was doing was neat and smooth and everything looked the same, where mine was choppy and up and down and side to side. And my dad shows back up and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm trying to get the job done. And like, get so we can go home and or at the time you're a little kid, all you're thinking about is lunch. Uh but this old man just was smooth and just as, precise as can be. And my dad told me, he's like, now he goes, I'm going to be here with you, but you and I got to go back and redo that ditch because that water's not going to flow smoothly. Elmer's going to get to go and have lunch, but you and I are going to go back and do this ditch and we're going to do it right. So it's,
Great learning experience.
yeah, learning experience. And it's kind of that stuff that I took to the football field of taking the coaching in the class, being able to take the coaching in the classroom and then take it to the field. Being able to do the technique and the job and do it the right way the first time. And, and like I said, like the guy across from me is an athlete too, right? So there's times you're going to lose, but you keep getting up, you keep moving forward. And, you're going to get coached on every
Learn.
rep. Yep, you're going to learn. Yes,
Oh, that's
exactly.
excellent. Well, and you mentioned your digging ditches. I did that. I used to water cotton back when I was like 13, 14 years old
Yeah.
before I had my driver's license. on the old cotton fields. But
Yeah.
for a lot of us, we all start somewhere.
Hmm.
Do you have a specific moment or maybe some moments that when you as the theoretical country kid and way back that you realized that making it to the NFL might actually be possible, that you saw that there was a light at the end of the tunnel?
From day one, day one.
Wow.
It's again, it's something I talk about in all my speeches is it's all about your plan A. From the time from the time I found those letters in my dad's, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to play in the NFL. And so playing flag football in junior high to high school ball to college, you know, that was the singular focus I had was going to the NFL. And there was times, especially in my early years, as far as, eighth grade, freshman, sophomore through the high school years, you know, whether it was teachers or, friends of family. Well, what's your plan B? I don't have a plan B. This is a make or break deal. Like I'm gonna either go and do it or I'm not. And if I'm not, all I'm doing is coming back to the ranch and cowboying and doing that, which I grew up and I love doing. So it wasn't like looking at it as a plan B. But the NFL was my singular focus. That was my light at the end of the tunnel. That was my end goal. That was my target and my scope. And I mean, like I said, from day one, that was where I just knew that's what I was put on this world to go do, and I knew I was going to do it.
That's excellent because one of the things that I think about, and I think some of what you're doing, I want to work with more and more of the young kids that
Mhm.
may not have the parents that we had and may not be receiving any positive support in their process and everything.
Yeah.
As we see too often today, somebody walks into a room, they're going to find something wrong. There's just something in their insecurity, possibly immaturity that comes out, maybe childishness.
Hmm.
Just they're not mature in themselves and they're going to find something wrong. So helping our teenagers and our young adults today to see that even though someone else may be burning their bridge, we don't do that. That's not what we need to do, but there is an opportunity. You in the
Hmm.
NFL, me being on speaking and it's the program management that I do, it's something that I enjoy, but there's something out there for all of us if we keep digging. And I think, like you're saying, keep working to
Hmm.
what that dream might be, right?
Yeah. Oh, very much so. And, it's like kind of the old saying, you never know who you're going to see on the way back down. So you never want to burn a bridge on your way up. And, you're working, you're putting in the times, but you never want to step on somebody's shoulders or, be disrespectful, burn a bridge. Because once you get to the top, where else is there to go? I mean, you got to stay there, you got to keep working hard. But if you're not willing to do that, you're going to roll right back down that hill and you're going to come right across those same people again, you know? And I like telling the kids I work with is listen, life's a team sport. Life is a team sport, and you've got to build a strong team. So whether it's your immediate family or your coaches, your teachers, your counselors, whatever it may be, any of those people, you got to
You may
find those.
not agree with them
Yep,
up front, but
exactly. You might not agree with them, all right, and they might not tell you exactly what you want to hear, but they're going to tell you what you need to hear. All right. Those are
so
the
true.
people. Those are the people that are truly in your corner, and they're going to be there, you know, when the showboaters and the naysayers are not. It's
That's
like
right.
yeah. So you got
And
to build that strong team early on.
keep it, keep in
Keep it.
touch.
Mm-hmm.
Do the, as you're saying, be strong with everyone, even if we don't agree. We can still be
Yeah.
strong together.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've been reading about you, that your faith, your family, your excellent, they all seem to be at the heart of everything you do, the faith, the family, the excellence.
Mm-hmm.
How can those three values connect especially during seasons or times of struggle or uncertainty.
Well, I mean, it's kind of what you stand on, or metaphorically, what you stand on when you are in those times of struggles. I mean, right off, when I got to the NFL, my rookie year, California kid, grew up playing college ball in California, get drafted by the 49ers, think it's going to be meant to be. And it wasn't. It wasn't meant to be. Had struggles. And next thing I know, I'm jobless, just like that. And my faith, my family, and the pursuit of my end goal uh, were the things that really supported me during that time. And um, it was just, you know, leaning on those people for advice. What should I do? What are the next steps? Um, Especially with my faith, just talking to God, and was like, because you're always going to doubt yourself when times get hard. At least I did, and I still do. Uh, but just checking in with Him and praying with Him, am I on the right path? Am I doing this the right way? And He'll let you know. He truly will. You know,
If you listen,
if you listen, yeah. And then lastly, it's just stay in the course, persevering through the down times. All right, that life's crucible. Just keep one foot in front of the other. Keep moving forward, and it's gonna come. It's gonna come. And with that, like I said, with that team that you've built, it'll you're gonna make it.
that
You're
is
gonna.
excellent. I want to support you as much as I can, help you get out to more and more people
Yeah.
because as we go through life, it seems every great story, such as yours, such as many others, there's
Hmm.
always a setback somewhere that kind of shapes the hero,
Hmm.
shapes those successes. And as you mentioned, getting drafted by the 49ers and then released, for a lot of people, that could have been a breaking point.
Hmm.
Can you help us with
Yeah.
some things that maybe some lessons about resilience that maybe you could have that may have come out of that experience that you could share with us in helping?
Yeah. Well, it kind of started with an attitude. You know, it was funny when that happened when I got released, and I mean it like just shattered my world. Like it was the first time that you've been told that you're not good enough. And it's like, what do you mean? So just confidence shattered. And you feel like you've let everybody down. And so had a phone call with my agent who during this whole process had become an extremely good friend and, very, very close, like pretty much family. And he said, "Listen," he goes, "This is where I go to work. This is where I go to work." And he goes, "But you've got to want this. You have got to want this." And so went on some workouts, wound up in signing with New York on the practice squad, and it was like that attitude of, okay, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Now I've got to start working on myself. I've got to start turning it around of I can't be negative anymore. All right. I've got to look at the positives. I've got to be proactive. I got to take charge. I got to be the one that's going to stay and do the extra reps. I got to be the one that's going to show up early. And so it all starts with that attitude of, you know, uh, I get to, I don't have to, you know, and
Beautiful.
I'll
Yeah.
more gratitude, less grumble, and
More gratitude, less grumble. I like that.
yeah. And the one that mainly really helped me with that, I was talking about my agent, Ken, and stuff, but the one that really kind of really showed me the more positive attitude way and helped me with that was my wife, or Katie. And uh at the time we were actually our relationship was fairly young. We just started dating, and you know here she is trying to help me in any way she can possible. And she sent me this book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, that book changed my whole life. It was awesome. And and I go back to that book, and even now when I start getting a bad attitude or something like that, I go look up short stories from that book and try to reset my brain to, all right, we got to be positive, we got to be positive, we got
Mhm.
to be proactive, look at how are we gonna help ourselves in this situation. So
That's true. And sometimes they made movies of that, of course, right? And
hmm
the book, and I think they've come out with two or three of them. But when I see them on TV still, I will watch them. And
yeah.
they're good. They're a good lift and what we do. And
Mm-hmm.
what I kind of heard there a little bit too, though, Bear, is like you said, you grew up in California, you played football in California, college in California, you went to the San Francisco 49ers, and then boom, now you're in New York. Well, that probably wasn't on the dream process, like you were saying.
Right.
And I think you mentioned a little bit of this earlier. How was that as, wait a minute, I'm a California kid, but now I'm up north? Uh, was that an impact?
Yeah, it was a struggle, especially being a ranch kid, being out in the country, being, your
Yes.
nearest neighbor's 3 miles away, you know, and now you're in New York City, living in a hotel, an apartment complex, and you look out the window and sharing a building with, some other people, and
Yeah,
yeah, and it's, you're right on top of each other. So it was an adjustment for me. It really was. And I didn't really like it at first. I really didn't like it at first. And, people were a little rude and stuff. And it was a different type of people than I was used to. Uh,
different attitudes and
Attitudes, yeah, just standoffish. I'm used to, walking up and shake your hand and look, what's your name? How are you? Good to meet you. And so there wasn't really a whole lot of that in the area. And so I wasn't really being very, friendly as well. So it was, but after a while, and I had learned that my grandmother on my father's side had lived in New York for a number of years and tried to
hmm,
uh, act on Broadway and stuff, and really enjoyed it. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a whirl. I'm gonna give this city a try and try to accept it and learn about it and go embrace you know the life that it allows you to have. And so after I kind of opened my mind to it a little bit more, it became one of the funnest places to live. And
great.
enjoyed going to restaurants and trying new food
That's
and Broadway shows and just all kinds of different types of life. And got to know our next door neighbors and how kind and generous they were. So
that's a learning experience, but it's there once you start reaching out, and
mhm.
the more you do that, it's amazing. And with that chemistry, the team chemistry that can come out.
Yeah.
And while we're just touching on that briefly, that all the difference in both your performance and your morale and the things that you're doing from
Mhm.
California to New York, do you have any insights you can share with us about what you can take from your time with Eli Manning and the Giants and building that genuine trust and unity in those group settings?
I think the big thing, and that's what was so different from the San Francisco team that year and going to New York and being a part of that team, um, was New York was so inviting and almost like warm in the locker room. Uh, here I am, a rookie, just been signed, don't know anybody from Adam, and day one at practice, I'm getting ready to go work out, and Chase Blackburn, middle linebacker, not even an offensive guy, defensive guy, comes up and goes, "Hey, congratulations. I heard we signed you. Welcome to the New York Giants." That was never done in San Francisco. That action was never done in San Francisco. It was more of this idea of who's this guy? Why did they draft him? What's he doing here? At the time, I don't know what it's like now. I'm just speaking for what it was like at the time I was there.
Right.
And I'm sure it looks like it's totally changed now with the players that San Fran has now that are there. It looks like that team atmosphere is totally different, you know.
Um,
But in 2009, it was a lot different. And in New York, it was opening. They brought you right in. You were part of the family. You know, once a giant, always a giant, no matter how long you're there. And I truly believe that's what helped us be successful in 2011 during that Super Bowl run year was that team was such a tight-knit group of guys. We'd spend we'd go to practice and practice all day and be around each
yeah,
other and beat the heck out of each other on the field. And then we'd go home and we'd all go out to dinner together. You know, a group of us would go have dinner together. We just truly enjoyed being around us, and it came down to not just wanting success for ourselves, but we wanted success for the guys next to us. The
that's
success
excellent.
for the whole team, you know. So, and that's I one thing I try to explain to excuse me, our young high school team is like as coaches, we can tell you what to do. We can tell you how to do it, but it comes down to the guy next to you. Like you guys got to want it for yourselves. And the leadership we can demonstrate it for you and um, but you've got to create that team atmosphere yourselves. And so uh
I like what you're saying because that's so
yeah,
true. That's what you will have to do. What we have to do. We can't wait on somebody else, right?
yeah. Sorry for the cough there.
Oh, but,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
well, looking back at that, if you want to just, we're getting close here. We've got about 12 more minutes.
Hmm.
Looking back at from where it all started, what you were just talking about, so you
Hmm.
had the ranch, the NFL, the rodeo arenas. Can you
Hmm.
kind of help us a little bit with what might stand out as your greatest blessing from your journey?
Man. Oh, yeah, I've truly been blessed a lot. Been just blessed a lot with a lot of life experiences and been able to travel the world. I've been from London to Kosovo to Germany and back and Southern America. Um, and just getting to being blessed enough to play the sport I loved at a very high level um, allowed me to a lot of things to come into my life. And I truly believe like the main blessing, like you said, yeah, I said at the start of the show, I won a Super Bowl. You know, now I'm in the rodeo arena, getting to, with the opportunity to win buckles and stuff like that. But the true blessing in my life will be, getting to the lessons I learned from all that and give those to Zane. You know, I'll be able to, you know, show him, not even show him, but tell him how to, you know, whatever dream he wants to have, but show him how to create a plan, plan
Beautiful.
to go attack it, teach him to solve problems, so he can whatever comes down the pike at him, he'll be able to handle. I can teach him how to persevere, and and then mainly too, I can teach him how to fall in love with the process. Because a lot of this stuff doesn't happen overnight. You gotta be in love with the process, the not only the highs but the lows as well. You gotta love all of it. And I hope one day, that's my plan is to be able to pass that on to him. That's kind of the
That
biggest blessing. All these life experiences, I get to pass them on to him.
that is just so tremendous. And
Yeah.
I think with what you're saying and bringing it out to others that we can do that for our
Hmm.
children, and that positivity and in the negativity, because you've, as I see it, Barry, you're consistently modeling
Hmm.
something bigger than just athletic success,
Yeah.
but being a person and being a parent in that
Yes.
process, and being nothing more masculine than being the parent to a child, nothing stronger, nothing more beautiful in so many ways. Do
Hmm.
you have any, as you speak, do you have any possible maybe phrases or principles that maybe kind of captures your life philosophy, what you talk about?
Um, a way I would, you know, one kind of I don't know if it's a philosophy, but a phrase that I express is the difference between those who win and those that lose are winners will not trade what they want most for what they want in the moment. Where somebody that loses more often than they win, they will trade what they want most for what they want in the moment. And what I mean
They
by
will
all
stick
that,
with it.
yeah. And what I mean by all that though is you take two different athletes, all right, and they both want to go to the same spot. They both want to go to the NFL. And they get done with practice one day and go into the locker room and they shower, they go watch film and go home. You know, it's time to go home. One has an opportunity, or they both have an opportunity to go to the weight room and work out, but only one takes it. The other one goes home and sits on the couch and plays video games and stuff like that. You know, the one that took the opportunity to go to the weight room is he's not going to exchange what he wants most for what he wants in the moment. And he might really want to go home and rest and stuff, but he's going to go to the weight room and get some extra work in, or he's going to stay in that film room and watch a little extra film. So I think that's the biggest thing is not trading what you want most for what you want in the moment. And that kind of plays into all three areas of my life as far as faith, family, and the pursuit of excellence. It's like you're not going to trade you're not going to trade this God for this God. It's not how we're taught. I was raised Catholic. I feel like I'm not a very religious person, but I'm kind of spiritual, and whereas like every hard, low moment in my life, whether it was high school, having to move in the middle of, before the school year started and stuff, or going in college, having to switch positions from quarterback to tight end and be come to terms with that decision, you know, in the NFL of having to find a job. My God was the first one I turned to.
Awesome.
Show me the way. Show me that I'm doing the right thing. I'm making the right decision. I'm gonna be okay. You know,
Right. And
yeah.
you've got to have times where you've got to stop. I mean, there's times that, hey, the situation has gone on long enough.
Hmm.
It's not going to work. You've got to do something different.
Yeah.
There's got to be times where you say, again, you talk about the issues with yourself, and you share those, and you realize that at some point you're doing all you can
Hmm.
and it's working or it's not working. You've got to make some decisions on where to go next
Yeah.
and what to
Yeah.
do. And I
Yeah.
like that even with your son, you're bringing him with you, and you're seeing he's seeing situations with you where things are going great, things are working, but also there's times where we need to make a difference. We need to make a change, make an
Mhm.
improvement.
Yeah.
And how that goes and what we
Mhm.
do going forward. It's impressive what you do with your life and how you continue that, and
Yeah.
that you're speaking to others.
And it's that having a plan, having a plan of how to attack a goal or attack a dream. And it doesn't matter what that plan is as long as you have one. All right. Because that plan can change, and that's okay. Like you said, there's those times you got to stop, back up. Okay, that didn't work. Let's reroute and go do something different. But you got to have that plan. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So
Oh,
we've been talking for quite a while. We got about 4 more minutes. So
hold on. I gotta put this on mute real quick. Down the wrong pipe.
oh, are
Yeah.
you okay?
Yep, we're
We
good.
can. All right. Well, just let me
Yeah,
know
let's
because I go through some things here, but
let's
because
keep
the
going,
encouragement
cowboy.
that you good attitude, the things that you bring forward that people need to hear, and again,
Yes.
especially our teenagers, our young adults, and there was so much I didn't know. When I first got to college, I was so naive. It was a whole new world for me, and knowing what I could do, couldn't do, should do, shouldn't do, and be able to
Mhm.
build from there and go forward. I think what you bring to the young adults is impressive. And young adults can be in their 30s. It doesn't mean just teenagers.
Yes,
A
sir.
lot of us are learning and building for an extended period of time. So that is great. Well, before we wrap up, can we can the audience learn a bit more about your work, your training programs, any upcoming events you might have, and what's next for Bear Pascoe in your full speed performance?
No, so we're constantly training young athletes online as far as strength training, strength and agility, getting them, trying to help them get bigger, stronger, faster, and so they can be in better physical shape to go attack their dreams. Because it doesn't matter what your dream is, and if you feel good, your body feels good, your mind will feel good. And so helping those kids feel good about themselves and you know, move, keep moving forward in life.
Right, you said in that feel good, that's that confidence. That's
Yes.
that belief, and it's true. They
Hmm.
can do it. If you
Yes.
say, do those extra few reps, those extra few repetitions, give
Hmm.
them that opportunity to work a little bit harder
Yes.
because they can achieve if they
Yeah.
believe in themselves first, right?
Very much. That's a great way to put it. Yes, very much so. So still always working on that. Like I said, I'm getting to work here at Cal Poly University here in San Luis Obispo and work with the
Mhm.
young rodeo athletes here, and it's been absolutely amazing. I'm really enjoying that. Uh, and as far as speaking gigs, I am looking forward to next February. Uh, Speaking at a local conference here in Paso Robles, California, helping um, local business leaders uh, better help uh, their circles, their communities. So that will be the next speaking opportunity. So
Let me
preparing
know.
for
I'd
that.
love to help you advertise. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, but no, just preparing for that, and you know, putting one foot in front of the other.
Beautiful.
Yeah, being
That's
a dad
excellent.
to being a husband to Katie and a dad for Zane. So
That's excellent. Wow. What an incredible conversation with Bear Pascoe. A true example of humility, perseverance, and faith in action. Doesn't his story remind all of us that success isn't just about winning championships? It's about character, consistency, and courage in the face of adversity. And he saw it, as we all do. Bear, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing your heart, your wisdom, and your journey with us today. Your
you
words remind us that with determination, discipline, belief in ourselves that we just talked about, we can all achieve the greatness within us in our own lives. Everyone listening, the road to success is built one step, one choice, and one act of faith at a time. Keep striving, keep believing, and as always, stay focused. Make life awesome. Remember, unity, just like the relentless resilience we talked about today, that country strong excellence, they're all mindsets of value and not just an ideal. They are success strategies for all of us. It's a daily choice to lead with empathy, act with integrity, and uplift others along the way. a service we can give for free as we gain so much more for ourselves. Bear, thank you again. If what Bear has told us today resonates with you, go out to his website, www.bearpascoe.com. Reach out to him. If you have comments or anything you want to talk to me about, go out to unitysuccessformula.com, marketricken.com, because with each inspiration that Bear shared today, ask questions, be inspired by his influence, the recognition we all receive for Bear Pascoe, his message. Contact Bear again on LinkedIn through his website, www.bearpascoe.com. Reach out to him. Bear, any final words? Anything you want to say before we close?
Just want to say thank you. Thank you very much for this time to spend with you and to talk and
It's
hopefully help somebody, you know, decide to go after their dreams. And like you said, if if they want to get in touch with me through my website or LinkedIn, I'd love to help them, you know, chase their dreams and succeed with it, and teach them how to create a plan, solve problems, persevere. You know, uh, that's what it's all about. So thank you
so
very
true.
much
Create
for this
that
time.
plan. Oh, my pleasure, Bear. I'm so glad to have you here. How you reach out, but create that plan, exercise the plan. There will be changes. Changes
Hmm.
are small, improvements are large. You make
Yep.
those changes to build that improvement to carry you throughout your life. So, Bear, thank you again. Until next time,
Thank you.
let us continue to transform that chaos into connection. Let us continue achieving unity. Again, reach me at www.achievingunity.com. Call me 303 Focus, 303-362-8733. We can stay focused on turning chaos into connection as we achieve unity by harnessing the power, the absolute power of encouraging, inspiring, and including others in building better businesses, better lives, and a better world. Life is what we make it. So let's make it awesome together in unity. Thank you all. Thank you, Bear. Thank you again for your message, helping others, your time, your commitment. Hope to see all of you again next week. Till then, cheers.